I heard a knock on the door. Not long after you wake up tonight, Gregory knocks on the door of your apartment. Wow, he actually talks? Huh, that's the first time. Hey, came here to pick you up. Miss Langley wants to see you. Do you know what she needs me for? What if I don't want to see her? Well, my freedom was good while it lasted. Let's go with that one. Those last 2 nights were nice. I had freedom, initiative. Good while it lasted, I guess. He smiles apologetically. Don't shoot the messenger. Car's waiting, shall we? You wrestle with the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you should just leave, disappear. Let's Sophie find somebody else to employ. But then you remember another thug being cut down by Kadir and how close you were to the same fate, not even a week ago, and that it might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked to one of the paintings in the room. You're pretty sure it's been here before, but she's behaving as if she's seen it for the first time in her life, entirely entranced. Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to the both of you, a bit of irritation in her countenance, which soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. You're here. Excellent. Thank you, Gregory. Her driver leaves and she turns her attention to you. I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances. But I have to say I'm happy to see you, Joe. Thank you for coming. The change of the mood in the room is so sudden and startling it makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language all feel 100% genuine in expressing legitimate interest in you and your well-being. Well, now I'm suspicious. I have a request for you this night. I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery. She points to the statue on the side of her apartment. You notice a plain-looking pen drive lying on the corner, right next to where the inanimate archer's bow touches the pedestal. The man you'll be looking for calls himself Kaiser. He has eyes and ears all around New York, and it's rare for something to happen here without his knowledge. I'll need you to take this memory stick and bring it to him. In exchange he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible. You're about to ask what's on the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you. Oh, don't worry about the contents. They're encrypted, a precaution if the data fell into the wrong hands, but it won't, yes? She gives you a smile what just a handful of nights ago would make you feel like melting. Oh, and Joe, Kaiser is a Nosferatu. Okay, I expected that. But twisted, deformed lineage of kindred. He is old and his age made him even more paranoid than others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens and changes them often. From what I have gathered, him or one of his servants should be found at the park on Coney Island tonight. You'll have to identify them somehow. I'm told Kaiser has spent many of his nights this past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep your eyes open for it. That smile again, but much shorter. Infant Morton Kaiser, why do you need to trade with Kaiser? Why won't you look for Kaiser yourself? I'm honestly curious, why don't you have Gregory, for example, look for him? I'm not sure why you need me for this. Can't you look for Kaiser yourself or send Gregory? First off, when you see his face, you'll understand. Sly smile creeps on her lips. Okay. Secondly, I don't have time to play his games and look for his exact location. Last but not least, you will need to meet him at some point anyway. If you do it now, you'll provide your patron with a Warfile service, and appease that leprous grump with a Warfile gift. Everybody wins, don't you think? She flashes one last smile at you and turns back to a painting. Clearly done with the conversation. You pocket the memory stick and head out toward Coney Island. I wonder if other options might have been better. I can't stop marveling at the just beauty of this game. It takes you better part of an hour to reach lights and sounds of Coney Island amusement park from the city. The drive is almost pleasant at this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. There's plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. And again, if they did stand out, it would have been kind of pointless, right? Nothing to do but figure out the right approach. Feeding opportunity bum. I don't see any red around the screen, so I think I'm fine for now. Although he is paranoid, so treading on possible hunting ground of that man would be a bad thing to do. And I think for now I'm fine, so I should... Asking around would be bad, so let's search for signs. There's plenty of nooks and crannies to investigate here, but if Kaiser frequents this area, there has to be some clue to grab onto, right? He spent a good hour snooping around, eyes peeled for the black limo Sophie mentioned, or any sign that a Nosferatu or any vampire has been having around these parts. Zilch. Annoyed, you turn back towards the light of the amusement park and find there's a man standing in your way. He's got an oversized jacket on him, and an air of a junkie or dealer. Who knows what he's got in his pockets? You lost? I'm looking for someone named called Kaiser. Not lost, just sightseeing. Maybe. What's it to you? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. What's it to you? What kind of answer is that? You spook? Fed? He looks at you intently, like he's trying to guess your real purpose here. Get out of here before I kick your ass. I'm just looking for a guy. Sure, after I ask you about Kaiser. Sure, man, whatever you say, just tell me if you know a guy named Kaiser and I'll be on my way. Nah, I don't know who it is. He's a terrible liar, clearly full of shit. He must know who I am, and Nosferatu are known for being very informed of everything. So, if he intimidates you, he must already know who you are and what you're capable of. Trying to intimidate him won't really achieve much. Should I mention Sophie? Listen, I was sent here by Sophie Langley. She has something for Kaiser. I need to contact him and pass it on. Nothing more to it. Don't know her, and I told you already, I don't know who Kaiser is either. He says with doubt in your face. Fuck it, stay right there. He produces his phone. It's a fancy model, doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. Unlocks it, picks a number, 2 tones go by. A voice on the other side. Sorry to bother you again, boss. Yeah, I know how much you need your alone time, but that sounds very nice. There's somebody here who wants to see you. Where with Langley? Sophie Langley, yeah. A string of loud obscenities fill the phone. The man winces and pushes it away from his ear, when the call stops. Almost immediately chime. Count's laugh from Sesame Street. Wow, announces an instant message sent to the phone. He's, on his way. Don't go anywhere. Inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge, a kind of with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but it has none of that currently. Instead there are monitors and consoles. Dozens of displays, each one showing something different. Surveillance camera footage, stock market codes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything when surrounded by all this visual noise, and then realize there's nobody there. Or is there? FYI, Nosferatu can turn invisible. He blinks into existence on a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates a regal presence. You're 100% sure that's Kaiser. Surrounded by dim computer screen lights, his features are even more ghastly than you had imagined. All sharp angles of a twisted bone, severed flesh and crooked teeth. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. The doors closed behind you. He looks like an orc. So, that waste of goodwill, eh? Outside tells me Sophie Langley sent you, eh? You get something for me? You reluctantly pull the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser. He plugs it into a USB port in the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happens to be turned away from you. It takes him about a minute to access the data. Who do you think people think I am? I've seen this footage a week ago. He plugs the pen drive out and throws it back at you in disgust. Tell Sophie the deal's off. She wants your address, she gives her something else. Presence, ask him to make a deal. I don't think I have much of a presence. Ask him how we can make it up to him. Ask him to give you a break. Well, if I learned anything from Human Revolution, he is an alpha, and UNIP is an alpha. I'm sorry this proved disappointing to you, Mr. Kaiser. Can I do something to make it up to you? He seems genuinely impressed. Now that's what I like to hear. Yeah, I was just about to mention it, in fact. I have something in mind. We'll talk again soon. You do it for me, the address is yours. Now would you be so kind as to get the fuck out of my car? I'm pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. Opaque windows slide by you, and soon the limo is on its way out. Kaiser's Lucky is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way to your car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. I still have a midday. Tapping on the window, a small greyish bird flying off, and a small piece of paper left on the window still. Prospect ASAP VtM. Well, you got it, baby. As you open the blinds, you're able to spot a small greyish bird flying off into the night. Looking down, you notice a small piece of paper on the windowsill. Prospect ASAP VtM. Third time's a charm, you think to yourself as you once again cross the gates of Prospect Park and head for Tamika's Haven. To your surprise, you find her out in the open, sitting on a lawn surrounded by a host of woodland creatures, birds and squirrels mostly. The creatures patiently await their turn as she flicks seeds at them. It looks almost whimsical, in a twisted sort of way. Hiding on plain sight, you wanted to see me? Are you holding up? Yeah, she generally seems really sad, so I just want to keep her spirits up. Hello Vic, huh? How are you holding up? Well enough, all things considered. She scatters the remaining seeds on the grass and hopes to her feet. I've been doing some digging. The Inquisition got a safe house up in Manhattan. I think that's where they're keeping him. The scared one, I mean. I want to pay them a visit. Kill that thing and as many of those SI bastards as I can along the way. Yeah. Taking a government safe house. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't that be considered a breach of masquerade? Yeah, and that's the least of our worries. Throw in a legion of armed goons standing in our way, and an all-powerful vampire as a cherry on top. Look, I'm not stupid. I know it's risky as hell, and I'm well aware I will not be coming back. I might not be coming back, goddammit. Still, it's something I have to do, with or without your help. Does Raoul know about this? Just out of curiosity, does Raoul know about this master plan of yours? He does now. He does know. He emerges from a shadow and me a few feet away from you. Son of a gun finally managed to sneak up on you. Tamika eyeballs him as he gets closer. You've seen that look before. She's clearly asserting her position, but this time it comes off as a formality rather than an actual challenge. How long have you been there, Raoul? Long enough. I'm still not buying that whole scared one bullcrap, but taking a bite out of Inquisition collective ass is just too good to pass up. I want in. Better believe it. Why would your sister ever lie to you? Believe it or not, just be ready for it. I'm not sure. I was there, saw it with my own eyes. I'm sure you saw something. Whenever or not it was a literal boogeyman would scare young fellows with, it's a whole different story. And with no due respect, you're hardly a fucking expert on the subject. Now can they move this along? I'm itching to kill me some SI fucks. I guess I could use your help. Well, I think it's up to her, but I don't see how we could refuse his help, really. Tamika, you got an opinion? Huh, I guess I know who Alpha is around here. He should come with us. He's got the right to be there, to see the scarred one with his own eyes. Plus my brother can be a pain in the ass, but he's one hell of a fighter. There you go, damn seal of approval. Well, yeah, I wasn't exactly against this anyway. It's settled then, let's go. Fucking finally. And with that you leave the relative safety of Prospect Park, steering yourself for things to come. As you get closer to your destination, you get the sneaking suspicion that Tamika's been pulling your leg. Following her lead, you take a turn from Broadway into Fort Tryon Park. Okay, I just want to take a look at this. You know, I like the bushes and trees, but the buildings themselves seem a little lower quality than usual. It doesn't seem to make sense, you think to yourself. There's only one spot between here and the Hudson River, but it can't be, can it? Sure enough, as the stone facade of the cloisters comes into view, Tamika motions at you to keep out of sight. How the hell is this well-known tourist trap a hideout of the Second Inquisition? Isn't this place a tourist attraction? Only during the day. At night it serves as a staging ground for the Inquisition. If my sources are to be trusted, and they usually are, we brought him here for what they call processing. That will keep him here for long, though. If you want to get to him, it's now or never. As if on cue, a group of armed guard walks out of a museum, pushing a gurney with a large steel container on top of it. As they wheel it out into the open, the truck approaches. The operatives start preparing to load the crate onto the vehicle. You scan the area trying to do a head count. Tamika beats you to it. I count at least 7, probably more inside. We should do this quietly, take them out one by one. Raoul frowns. Let's have it going, guns blazing. Figuratively speaking, if there's more inside, let them come. The more the merrier. Let's go with frontal assault. Let's try a stealthy approach. Why don't I talk to them? Yeah, no, that ain't happening. Well, if this was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I would talk to them, because it's definitely the most fun option, but this is not that. As far as frontal assault goes, it is the most brutal way, so I say we go with that. For once I agree with Raoul, we should do this quick and painful. Take him out before we even know what hit him. Works for me. All the things you could be bouncing over. This is what you're going with? Oh, I like you more now. Fine, let's do this your way. You stroll through the front gate, like 3 desperados about to clean up a town. You look after Tamika, walking on your right. Here Raoul let out a subdued growl on your left. As expected, the guards immediately turn toward you. 3 of them start walking toward you, rifles at half-mast. You can tell they're not exactly sure what to make of you. You catch movement in the corner of your eye. Before you can even tell what happened, Tam is standing on top of a dead-eye operative, her claws dripping with blood. Raoul follows suit, lunging at the goon to your left, slashing away at his face. The man lets out a blood-curdling scream as his face turned into mincemeat. If the guy gives you a panicked look, it's now or never. Slash his throat, punch him in the face. Well, that one is obvious. Deciding now is not the time to mess around, you slash at the man's neck using your fangs. They cut through his artery with a scalpel-like precision. Blood gashes all around, forming a red ribbon that hangs in the air for a split second. It splatters beneath your feet just as the body hits the ground. What a waste. Looking at the side, you notice Raoul looking back at you. He nods, looking almost semi-impressed. Apparently being able to learn from one another's mistake, the 4 remaining guards take aim and open fire. The air to your right starts to shift. You look over expecting to see Tamika, but she's nowhere to be seen. Instead you catch a glimpse of a black, wolf-like creature. It leaps through the air and lands on top of one of the gunmen, clenching its claws on its throat. You don't have time to check up on Raoul, but judging by the highly unpleasant gargling sounds coming from your left, you're guessing he's already taken care of another guard. 2 down, 2 to go. One of the remaining guards aims right at you. You feel a sudden jolt of pain as a bullet grazes your ear. Whatever you're gonna do, better do it fast. Potent thrasher shooter. Throw a rock. Why yes, highly trained operative, let's throw a rock at him. Sure. As your muscle stands up like steel wires, you leap through the air, able to cover the distance between you and the guard in single bound. Next thing you know, you're standing over his crumpled frame. The smell of fresh blood fills your nose and sets you on edge. Finally, just when you're left with but 1 foe to deal with, 3 more guards spring out from inside the museum. Clearly alarmed by the commotion, they come at you, guns raised. One of them aims at Tamika, who has just emerged from her animal form. Clearly worn out, she kneels down, trying to catch her breath. The other points his gun at Raoul, who is having a bit too much fun finishing off what's left of the courtyard guards. Neither of them knows what's coming, no time to take care of both threats. Well, there's one person I care about here, and that's obviously her. Before you know it, you find yourself almost flying through the air, straight toward one of the gunmen. He's dead before he even falls to the ground. Well, one opens fire, controlled burst, catching Raoul in the open. Driven by sheer instinct, he gets down on all 4s and leaps to the side, trying to get out of a line of fire. You don't think you've ever seen anyone move that fast. Still, it's not enough. Raoul lets out a grunt of pain as he stumbles onto the dirt. A ferocious roar echoes across the courtyard as Tamika jumps onto the gunman. An agonizing scream follows as she plunges her claws into a man's eyes. She went towards Raoul, her hands drenched in blood. Are you alright? He staggers to his feet, pressing his hand onto the wound on his arm. I'll leave. Figure of speech. That silence falls upon the battlefield. The 3 of you exchange tight glances. Is it over? Suddenly you hear a quiet sob. In the silence it might as well have been a gunshot. In an instant you all turn toward it and notice a last surviving guard standing by the container. Looks like you missed one. Paralyzed with fear, he keeps shifting his aim from you to Tamika to Raoul. He's severely fucked and he knows it, and since you're standing closest to him, you might as well do the honors. Mess with him a little. I don't see why not. You walk over to the queer mess what the mere minutes ago thought himself the toughest of the tough. Before he can react, you slap the gun out of his hands, lean in and smile. Hi. Half a second later, your fangs are already halfway to his windpipe. The blood tastes sour, with a hint of cowardice and regret. Could have gone out with a bang, chose to go out with a gurgle. Oh well. With the SI operatives taken care of, you turn your attention to the container sitting in the middle of a courtyard. Using your combined strength, you make quick work of a steel door. As you walk in, the moonlight from behind you illuminates a twisted figure huddled on the floor. It's hard to believe that the thing that lies before you, beaten and tortured within an inch of his unlife, is the same creature you fought back at the cemetery. What the fuck is this thing? The boogeyman. It's what you refuse to believe. It's what happens when you lose control. The boogeyman. Why, it's the boogeyman, Raoul. Turns out he's real. Who knew, huh? His lips move silently as if searching for the right words. He looks to you, then turns to his sister, as if waiting for a sign. For a moment, Tamika just stands there. He looks down at the scarred one, the once fearful boogeyman, whose very mention would strike terror into the hearts of a tribe, now reduced to a whimpering pile of flesh. Finally, she turns to you with a look of childish innocence mixed with confusion. Then she looks back to the scarred one. You can tell she's lost. Tam? Tam, what the hell are you waiting for? Let's kill this thing and get out of here! Sure, somehow that doesn't seem right. He's right, that's what he came here to do. Well, it is her choice. This is your choice, I can't make it for you. She turns to you with a look of pride mixed with desperation. I'm not asking you to. Do it, Tam. You know he deserved it. Hell, looks like you'll be doing him a favor. He has made his choice a long time ago, you don't have to. Whatever you do, there will be consequences. Personally, I'm very much against it, but I wanted to let her make the choice. I don't know what to go for. He makes his choice only, you don't have to. Let's go with that one. But it doesn't need to be your choice. Suddenly the very air around you seems to thicken. You look over to Tamika, she's not quivering anymore. She walks up to the scarred one. The pitiful creature presses itself into the corner in a desperate and futile attempt to crawl away. Without a word, she grabs him by the ears, sinking her claws into the sides of his head. She looks him dead in the eye. Her voice cuts through the air like cold steel. Stay out of my territory. In one fluid motion, she rips the chain off the wall. The pitiful shadow what was once the scarred one scurries off into the night. Raoul seems flabbergasted. Damn, what the hell are you doing? Carving her own path. Standing outside the steel container, the three of you take a moment to gather your thoughts. You look at one another, at the blood stain in your hands, clothes and faces. In the pale moonlight, it appears black and shiny, like a fresh ink stain on a fresh sheet of paper. Without another word, you head back towards the city light. The journey back takes longer than it did the other way around. With bits and pieces of a Second Inquisition still stuck to your clothes, you decide to play it safe by sticking to back alleys and cutting through the dark corners of the city. Ooh, did you just see that? There's a shadow. That's a nice effect. Tamika keeps several steps ahead. Both you and Raoul are quite content to follow her lead. You can tell these last few nights have taken a toll on her, but not necessarily in a bad way. She seems stronger somehow, confident, more in tune with herself. Soon the awkward silence proves unbearable enough that you're willing to risk making small talk with Raoul. Oh, now you know that's desperate. I'm still not sure what happened back there. You think she's gonna be alright? You think she's gonna be alright? Yeah, I think so. She's just got to figure some stuff out. Our lineage, we have a special relationship with the beast. We can either let it control us or become attuned to it. It's a constant struggle, marked with difficult choices. I think Tam just made one of them. Pondering what you've just heard, the rest of the way barely registers. To your surprise, you suddenly find yourself back at Prospect. Tamika keeps walking. She strides through a park gate like a queen of old, returning after victorious conquest. You want to call out to her, but Raoul stops you with a gesture.
Not yet. Give her some time to process all this shit. She'll let you know when she's ready. And hey, you did alright. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're still an asshole, but yeah, thanks.
No problem, buddy. He smiles at you. Wonders never cease.
See you around.
And with that, he follows in his sister's footsteps. A weird smile creeps up on your face as you melt into the New York night.